We in America are really, really, really becoming an idiocracy. Not by birth, but by social media and echo chambers. This debate between Anna and Pearl was so revealing, if you can even call it a debate. But it was so revealing to the fact that behind a lot of these online movements and clickbait movements are really just small, hurt, miserable people that are uneducated, uninformed, and truly they're just hurt. They're scorned. Instead of going deeper and doing any self-reflection, they go and they attack these huge groups of people, women, that have nothing to do with the things they experience. It's all projection. They're hurt and they're projecting. Pearl, in my opinion, is the perfect definition of a narcissist. And I'll tell you why. Her real issue is that she was never looked at as attractive, as wife material, not even as mother material, according to men. Pearl was never that girl. She was never asked to prom. She was never chased. All the women that she tries to shame and say that they use men and they're not good people, they just use men for their resources and they're gold diggers. She wishes a man would get close enough to her for long enough to be able to use him. She could never use any man because, like all women know, being around a man that doesn't find you attractive, not even in the least bit, is very painful. It's very obvious when a man doesn't see you in that way. And they don't hide it. Even if they try, it's very difficult because men are very linear. They're usually purposeful. Best believe if a man is talking to you in the grocery store or at a gas station trying to pump your gas or holding, sometimes even holding a door for you, he wants something. A man is not going to just be in your face, being nice, asking about your day, asking about you. Oh, where are you from? Where is this? Oh, complimenting you if he doesn't want anything from you. For a lot of men, that's the only way they know how to be kind. That's the only way they know how to take an interest in someone is when they're trying to get something from them. A man that doesn't find you attractive, you will never catch them anywhere near you. You will never catch them within a foot of you. And if they have to be, say, a grocery store or in line, best believe you're getting one of those looks like, okay, what do you want? No, I don't have anything you need. No, don't talk to me. No, not available. No. That any woman will tell you that. So I can only imagine how it's been for Pearl, sweet Pearl, to grow up all this time being, not conventionally attractive. You're super tall, which is not a bad thing, but it's not the most. I'll just say this: it's not. For most men, it's not usually on their list. They usually don't want to be towered over by a woman. You can still be beautiful and tall, and there's a lot of men that like that. But let's just be real. For the most part, men do not want to be towered over, and you're not conventionally attractive, and your personality is not that great either. So, and then plus, privilege. She grew up very privileged in a very well-off family. So yeah, I can see why it would create someone very angry, very bitter. You have all this money and access, but still it's not enough for people to like you. It's not enough for a man to want you. So what do? You attack the women that do get the male attention without having to try. You attack the women that do get taken care of or get benefits from men because you never could. It's not about right and wrong. Like, let's just be real. She could care less. She's mad because she doesn't get to benefit. That's it. And she's created this whole platform to punch down on these women who get to live the life that she never got to live out of jealousy. And at the same time, she gets proximity So all these men that she knows outside of this, if she wasn't caping for them, they would have nothing to do with her. Nothing. They wouldn't be in the same room with her. They wouldn't be within a foot of her because they have nothing to talk about. They don't find her attractive, meaning they don't want anything to do with her. They don't see a use for her. But not with this platform. See, she figured out, she's not the smartest, but she has some, smarts to her. She figured out, oh, I can shit on these women and I get proximity and I get to have all these conversations and breathe the same air of these men that normally that rejected me in school and in college and still. She's killing two birds with one stone. But honestly, I think she needs to pivot because clearly debate is not her strong suit, to say the least. Facts are not her strong suit. Statistics are not her strong suit. Speaking is not her strong suit. Public speaking is not her strong suit. Charisma is not her strong suit. Her strong suit is clickbait, short form content, appeal to these young men before their frontal lobe develops. Let me feed off of their insecurities as young men. Let me feed off of their loneliness and their scornedness. Because I know it well. Because I'm scorned too. See, that's her. That's why her audience identifies so much with her. Because she is that. She is a lonely, frustrated, dorky teenage boy. At least that's how she feels. And it's evident. How bad she bombed this debate, I don't even know if it can be stated. I don't even know if there's words to describe. So not only is her message and basically everything she stands for, not only is it rooted in, I don't even know if you can call it misogyny. It's just so nonsensical. Even misogynists are like, okay, like she makes misogynists look bad. I don't even believe in the things that she is standing for, but I could have debated her point better than she did. I don't hang out in those communities. I know, I get a gist of what they are and who they cater to and their message. Yeah, I get it. I know why they feel that way. I know where it comes from. And even I could have debated better than that. I'm for the rights of all people, of all genders. Yes, I'm a little biased because I am a woman. So of course, the bias comes from experience, from my perspective. I know what it's like to walk in a woman's shoes. I know the struggles that we face uniquely in the world that men do not. That's not to say that men don't have struggles. They definitely do have struggles. They definitely do have things that are unfair happen to them. Are there some things that men go through that women don't? Sure. Absolutely. Two genders experience the world in two totally different ways a lot of the time. So I'm not surprised. The point she's trying to make, and the point that she really failed in communicating, she's trying to say that men have all these issues. Men are the saviors. They make all the money, they have all the resources, and women, they're just gold diggers. And if women weren't so evil and conniving and manipulative, that men would have better lives. That's the gist of her message. Her message is that it's women's fault. It's our fault. It's women's fault that men have high self-deletion rates. It's our fault that men lose custody battles. What do you hold them accountable for? Because during that debate, all I kept hearing was, oh, men, it's women that's doing this. Women are doing this. Men's rates are this. Men's rates are that. Like Anna said, what about the women's self-deletion rate? What about the struggles women go through? And that's how I know Pearl lives in an echo chamber and she's surrounded by yes men. She has never challenged her beliefs or her feelings once. Because if she had, she would have had answers. She would have had a counter argument. She would have been able to at least cite the statistics she was referencing. And the ones she did reference literally had nothing to do with anything. She's talking about a study that was done in some Midwestern state in like the 80s. And with stuff like that, that's how you know people, it's like at this point, you don't even believe what you're saying. You don't even believe it. If you truly believed it and you were truly fired up and felt like men were going through this huge injustice, you would have been so fired up that you would look into the statistics and dig even deeper to try to make your point even further. You would say, oh, look at this statistic. And it was done in this year. So this is a recent year. So come on. Oh, and it was this state. Look, this state is very applicable to, I don't know, the rest of the world. No, she didn't even bother. She's a definition of a grifter. And I know we have free speech in America, and I'm not saying take away anyone's free speech, because free speech has gotten us a lot of places. But at this point, there needs to be some type of filter, some type of monitoring on what people can post, because the American literacy rate is too low to just post anything. People, on top of that, people are the most stressed out, emotionally vulnerable, raw, just out of their minds than they've ever been. A lot of people are angry and they're looking for someone to blame. You can't just put stuff like this out here. And not even to mention, a lot of the people online are kids and teenagers. You should not be able to spew this nonsense for 5+ years. Get away with it, and you're just now being exposed. You're just now being humiliated. She should have been humiliated. We should not have been able, the systems should not have allowed her to rise to the point where she is now, to where she's influencing all of these young men and just young people in general who don't have their frontal lobes developed. And on top of that, do not have a lot of life experience. Don't have a lot of life experience, especially life experience with the opposite sex. So now you've infiltrated these young men's minds before they even start dating in the real world, to where now they think all women are out to get them and use them, and women are just inherently evil. And if you're going after a wife, you have to the best time to marry a woman, she's at her peak when she's at 19 years old. Like, just crazy. She literally said this. Crazy things that are so easily disproven by having a frontal lobe and by lived life experience. And she shouldn't be allowed to just exist online the way she is. There something has to happen. I'm not saying take away free speech. I mean, I don't see that happening, but something needs to happen. You can't just spew ignorance to the most vulnerable population in this country and online. Not everyone has parents that monitor their online use. I would say really most parents don't monitor their kids' internet use, because it's too hard. There's too many things being posted. There's too many sites. There's too many social media apps. And even then, you don't know what they're seeing at school. Like, you can't keep an eye on them at all times. You have to go to most people's parents, both of them work. You don't have time to be a full-time homeschool teacher or babysitter. Like, most people do not. They're trying to survive. So you can't just say, oh, put it on the parents. The system has to change. And that's just, something needs to change, or we really will be living in an idiocracy, like, completely. There will be very little sane, sound mind people left. And honestly, this is why I'm making this, because I'm just tired of seeing it. Like, I'm not a huge content creator. I'm just fed up. I'm tired of seeing just dumb people have these platforms and say nothing. Not only do they not say anything of substance, they're spewing harm. And I wish I could say, like, wow, Anna really, like, really got her. She's so good at, but I don't even know if she's like the best debater in the world or if Pearl is just the worst. Forget debater, but just like the worst person. Just the worst communicator of thoughts ever. And I can see why it's hard for her to communicate her thoughts because she has no real thoughts. She doesn't believe any of this. When you believe what you're saying, you don't need a script. You don't need written down talking points. I mean, sure, you can have bullet points and cite your sources in the statistics, but not once did I see her actually talk outside of what she had written down in a convicted way with any authority. Because the truth is she knows she doesn't have any authority. She knows she's a grifter, which is why I don't know why she agreed to this debate. This was not a good idea. But it just shows how delusional Pearl is. You know you're a grifter. You have to. You know you don't have any real talking points. You get by off of clickbait. Her mind should have told her that that's where she needs to stay. She has to be the most delusional person on the planet to think that she could debate a professional debater and commentator, an educated, articulate one at that, who knows what she's talking about, has the lived life experience, who is charismatic, who literally debates for a living. Pearl is not a debater in any sense of the word. She sits behind a camera and she rants and raves to a live comment section. Debate is completely different. And it's disrespectful to think that you talking to a camera while reading comments from people that are 12 and 13 and 14 and 16 and 20 years old is the same as going head to head with a educated, more experienced, professional debater, commentator with real life lived experience. When you have none of that, you grew up in privilege, which protected you from a lot of things, and you have no life experience when it comes to marriage. I don't even think to relationships and the dynamic that even happens in a relationship. Because if she had any experience, she would know everything she's saying is not true. Women do, regardless of the financial situation, women do so much labor in relationships, in marriages and families, period. The only difference is our labor is invisible. It gets to get explained away. It gets to be swept under the rug because a lot of women are natural nurturers. Women, by default, are nurturers, usually. Sure, there'll be exceptions, but women are nurturers. We anticipate the people who we're around, our partner, our children, we anticipate their needs before they even have to ask us. So, of course, by the time they get around to asking, it's very little things they're asking of us. So it makes it look like, I don't ask you for a lot. Yeah, because you don't have to. Men, on the other hand, we have to spell out in all caps, verbally, written, through poems, song, interpretive dance. We have to spell out exactly what we need, what we want, what we expect. And even then, we have to repeat ourselves for years until most women get to the point where they say, this person, they're clearly not capable of meeting my needs. So let me stop wasting all this energy explaining. Let me help myself. And when I really can't bear anymore, if I'm about to pass out, then I'll ask for their help. Pearl would know that if she had any experience in any relationship. But she doesn't. So she has no right to be speaking. And the fact that she says that women are emotional and what did she say? Our brain chemistry changes every day. Okay, women are emotional. She's so silly. She's so nonsensical. Yet, when she was losing the debate that she signed herself up for, that she agreed to, when she came unprepared, uneducated, with a sea of her followers, and she still couldn't muster up any courage. When she was losing, she resorted to making fun of Anna's assault by a homeless man. She thought that was so funny. She thought that was a dig. She thought she had one up on her. Something that has nothing to do with the topic. That is not funny. It just shows that she was really grasping at straws. And you have to be careful what you say because it can be used against you. You said women are so emotional. Did you forget you were one? And if you ask me, Anna went really easy on her, actually. She could have drug her even more than she did. She was playing softball because immediately she clocked that, this person is not prepared. Not only are they not prepared, even if they were the most prepared, they could not go up against me because they don't believe what they're saying. And their argument does not make any sense. Anna went easy on her. She said she felt bad for how humiliated she was. Not because Anna humiliated her, Pearl humiliated her damn self. And it needed to happen. It was hard for me to watch, honestly. Even I mean, Pearl's not my favorite person at all, but even I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I had to stop myself. I was feeling bad for her. I wanted to turn it off. I felt uncomfortable through the screen. I could only imagine how she felt on the stage in front of all of her followers, being humiliated like that. I thought someone was going to throw a tomato. I mean, if it was if it were a more mixed crowd, who knows how it would have went. But even then, I felt bad for her, but I had to stop because this needed to happen. She needed to be humiliated. She should have been humiliated years ago before it got to this point, because men that listen to her, these young men, I can't even call them men, just these young, impressionable kids, teens, young men, they need to see what true intellect looks like. They need to see what a grifter looks like. They need to know that just because you say something and you can get 10 people to laugh and agree with you does not mean that is true. There are things that matter outside of yourself and your own hurt. Just because you feel rejected by a group of people or hurt by a group of people doesn't mean you get to make it the narrative for everyone. Doesn't mean that you get to go and make it even more hostile environment for women as a whole than it already is, because you got your feelings hurt because you have a big back and you're 6'1". Like I said, narcissist behavior, true narcissist, and I'm glad that her followers got to see who she truly is, what she stands for, and just how cringe she is. She's very cringe, very embarrassing. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And if you got nothing else from the debate, I hope they find a new leader and kick her out of the community, because it's just, regardless of how you feel, what side you're on, or it's just not a good look. I wouldn't want to be represented by someone like that. Even if you know what you're saying is not true, you could have at least played it off a little better than that. That was embarrassing. Don't forget to like if you would like more content like this, if you like my little rants. And thank you for listening. See you in the next one.